This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay McLovin here with Tony Gonzalez and Gonzo. Two very happy Hoosiers. What a hell of a week for sports, specifically football and basketball. But today we're focusing on football, so we'll cover that aspect of it. But Tony, in my best sling bait voice, how about them Hoosiers?
Oh, yes, man. IU all over Wisconsin, 34-7. We'll break that down here in a little bit. Texas A&M, man, what a comeback win. And also a collapse by South Carolina. Texas A&M 31-30 over South Carolina. We'll go more into that, too. We'll break it down. We got Oklahoma 23, Alabama 21. We'll break that down for you here in a minute. And also Georgia 35 and Texas 10. Game's close to about the fourth quarter, and then Georgia took over the game. We'll go over that also. But let's get some other scores real quick. Ohio State 48 over UCLA 48-10. Texas Tech defeated UCF 48-9. We had Ole Miss 34, Florida 24, Notre Dame 37, and Pittsburgh 15. USC 26, Iowa 21. We had Michigan 24, Northwestern 22. We had Navy 41, upset South Florida, number 24 South Florida, 41-38. And we had Arizona 30 and Cincinnati, who was 25th ranked. Also, they got upset with only scoring 24, 30-24 win there for Arizona. So, guys, let's break down some games in college football. Let's go to the IU game first. IU winning 34-7. Close game at half, 10-7. And then IU took over on total offense. Total yards was IU 388, but they did allow 5 sacks. That concerns me a little bit, but they did hold the ball 34 minutes of that game. Wisconsin only had a total of 168 yards, also had 2 turnovers, only had the ball 26 minutes. Mendoza 22-24, 299 yards and 4 touchdowns. Heck of a day for Mendoza. Guys, I think Mendoza right now is going to be the favorite for the Heisman. Chris, let's go to your thoughts on the IU game, and then we'll go to Jay.
No, excuse me. I thought IU played real well, other than the sacks, but we're also down a couple starting offensive linemen, and again, we didn't have our best receiver, Surratt. So I think that had a little bit to do with the sacks, not having a couple of our normal starters. From what I'm hearing, that they're on their way back, so we should be pretty healthy going into the last game of the season, and then the Big Ten championship game after that. But no, Mendoza was sharp. I know on that graphic it says 22-44, but he was 22-24.
Yep.
I think they even ended up bringing his brother in. His brother completed, I think, 1 pass there towards the end of the game. The guy's been so efficient this year that there's been 3 or 4 games that they've took him out and he hasn't even played in the fourth quarter, or his stats could even be a lot better than what they are. Because I can think of at least 3 games off the top of my head where he didn't play the whole game. But yeah, the IU's looking good. We're pretty healthy. It'd be nice to get Surratt back, but we've had some guys step up. Actually, Mendoza, I just got done watching him on the Pat McAfee show. He was on Pat's show today live. Go check that out. That's how you what you would like your starting quarterback to say and be talking about. I thought he handled the interview great. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Got a big game against Purdue this weekend. You got to beat the in-state rival, but take care of business. We get a shot at Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. And I think if we finish out Purdue, unless you just get blown out by Ohio State, you're basically guaranteeing yourself a top 4 seed going into the college football playoffs.
Yeah. Hey, Jay.
Yeah, real quick. Again, hey everybody, I do apologize for the graphic. Logan made that early this morning, so I think he meant to hit 2 for it, but somehow or another it came out double 4. But yeah, 22 of 24, man, that's an amazing completion at 299, 4 touchdowns. I mean, the 5 sacks. When you got that kind of a stat line, you overlook the sacks, right? I mean, it's a hell of a good game by Mendoza. Clearly looking very Heisman worthy of that. Question. I was watching a little bit on McAfee, and he did say, I think this was the first time, I think it was 2015, that 2 brothers got a touchdown, passing touchdowns. Do you tracking that? I didn't see. I looked at the stats. I didn't see where Mendoza did it, but he said it like 2 or 3 times. Do you know what it was more about?
It was it wasn't this game. It was a different a game a couple weeks ago. They both had passing touchdowns in the same game. It was one of the games I was talking about where they brought his brother in for the fourth quarter. And his brother's not bad at all. His brother's pretty good. He's not quite as big as Fernando, but he's pretty good. But yeah, I'd have to go back to look at the exact game. It wasn't the Penn State game, but I think it was the game before the Penn State game. Was the game that they both had passing touchdowns in the same game.
I mean, either way, it's a hell of a good feat, right? I mean, that's just, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know how many brothers get the same position, how often that the chances of that are just so surreal.
See, last year, Fernando was playing for Cal.
Okay.
And his brother was signed with IU, and then Fernando transferred to IU this season.
I wonder I'm assuming Signetti, the hiring of Signetti or being said to be in there, that must have been a huge draw for them.
Yeah.
Wow, what a time to be alive, man. Okay, yeah, no, what I thought about this game was it was a very decisive win over Wisconsin, and it just further puts IU down the road towards the title contention, right? I mean, I know you're gonna have to go through the Big Ten championship, which will be a very big test for you guys before you hit the national title, or before the playoffs. Let's put it that way. So I know you guys are amped up for that. Obviously we went against Georgia, we went against Ohio. I think we fared better against Ohio than we did against Georgia. But what are your thoughts with Indiana and how well they're playing? You're probably going to face Ohio in the championship. What are y'all's thoughts going into that game when you do get to that point?
I think IU has a great chance of beating them. I really do. You said it's a test for Indiana. It's a test for Indiana, but it's also just as big as a test for Ohio State as well.
Absolutely.
They have, and there's a difference. They really haven't been tested this year. I mean, their closest game really was the Texas game at the beginning of the season. After that, they really haven't been tested. IU played that tough game against Oregon, went to Oregon in a tough environment. They had the game against Penn State on the road down, had to come back. So they've had a taste of having to be gritty and kind of grind out a win, where Ohio State really hasn't had to do that much this season. So I think it's just a test for both teams, and I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I think IU's going to have a good chance to win that game.
And it surely does seem like you guys have an amazing culture out there under Signetti. Like he's really put his handprint on that thing, right?
Especially with that game being on a neutral field too.
Yeah,
like you're not going into Ohio State. But don't get me wrong, that Lucas Oil is going to be filled with Ohio State fans. It's going to be filled with IU fans too. But there's going to be a lot of Ohio State fans there because it's not. It's only probably like a 3-hour drive from Columbus to Indianapolis, so it's not
right.
I mean, you're going to get a lot of Ohio State fans there as well. So it's going to be Lucas Oil will be wild. I would love to go to the game, but I think it's going to end up being a little too steep for the pocketbooks. To get in, but I would love to go to. Last time I looked, the cheapest ticket to get in was over $300.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, though. Hey, I'll take that any day. I tried to get Texas A&M Texas last year, and they were charging Super Bowl prices. I mean, you couldn't get it for less than $1,000. So I'll take the 300 though. I watch. It's crazy how much they overprice these games. I mean,
I'm not paying 300 to sit at the top of the stadium. I'll sit at home. I'll sit at home and watch it.
oh, trust me, I would too. Matter of fact, I did. I was back when it's A&M Texas. But Tony,
Let me ask you guys real quick before we move on to the next game. Ohio State still got one game to be tested. I know Michigan's not near as good as they were last year, but it is a rivalry game. Michigan and Ohio State's a rivalry game. There's been many times Michigan has beat Ohio State when they had no business beating Ohio
Happened
State.
last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this game's at, Ohio State or Michigan. To be honest with you, I'm not sure. But that's going to be a big game. That may be a bigger test than what Texas was, and I'm not putting Texas down because that was the first game of the year. This is going to be the last game of the year, and like I said, it's Michigan and Ohio State, man. And it's one of the biggest rivalries in college sports. So that's going to be a big test for Ohio State. I just don't think Michigan's got quite enough to have Ohio State.
Michigan.
Okay, so that will be a test. That will be a test for Ohio State. Because I mean, Ohio State played Texas, but they played them at Ohio State. So
Michigan did move into the top 20 on the AP poll.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to say they have quietly got back into
it. They're 18 in the AP poll. Michigan wins this game that they could possibly sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, Michigan still got a shot, and Texas has still got a shot. If they could beat Texas A&M, and if that gives them a shot. Then if what really would give them a shot if Alabama got upset by Auburn and went to 3 losses, that could be interesting. What would happen then? But we'll see. Let's move on to Texas A&M, guys. Texas A&M wins 31-30. I watched this whole game pretty much, guys. I missed just very little. Watched it in the car coming home from Chicago. Texas A&M got down 30-3 at half, and they come back and win this game 31-30. Texas A&M had 503 total yards, but the killer for them, they had 4 turnovers. South Carolina had 388 total yards. It was a tale of 2 halves. South Carolina looked fantastic the first half, and Texas A&M looked terrible the first half. And it almost like they switched places in the second half. And I think if Texas A&M could have just scored 3 points in that second half, they may win this game. But got to give A&M some credit. They did come back. I did think they had some luck on their side too. But hey, sometimes that's what you need. That don't hurt to have a little luck every now and then. You guys' thoughts on this game, Jay? I'll go to you first this time.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people come out flat. We've seen good teams come out flat, go into the halftime, make adjustments, and come out and play better. And I think that's kind of what happened to maybe A&M a little bit. I think maybe A&M possibly could have taken South Carolina a little lightly, and maybe they just weren't geared up for that first half. But obviously, when they went into that locker room, they came out and it was a different half. I mean, South Carolina really did put it on them. I mean, they were down, 30-3 going into the half. I did not get to catch this game. I was actually at Renfest. But when I'm looking at the game cast at 30-3 in the half, that's crazy. And it just shows that they were flat. They just had probably no interest in it. But if you look at that third quarter and 21 points, again, I didn't catch this game, so I'm gonna rely maybe a little bit more on you guys maybe that caught this game. But you're right; it was like the tale of 2 halves. It was every bit of it was South Carolina that first half, and then A&M. They didn't even give up a point. Their defense was shut down at that point. So that just tells me they just took this game lightly that first half, and then the coach ripped them a new one and said, "Look, get your head out of your asses, or we're going to be slipping out of these playoff rankings." And I think they came back and made the adjustments and went on to win. It's crazy.
Chris?
I think the biggest thing was in the first half, South Carolina was playing like they had nothing to lose and was playing to win.
Yeah,
and they got a couple turnovers, got that big lead, and then they came out at halftime and started playing not to lose. Was just trying to hold on to their lead. They didn't keep up that intensity that they played with in the first half. They weren't playing to win no more. They were playing to try to hang on and keep that lead. And when you do that, usually you end up losing. Texas A&M was able not to turn the ball over in the second half, and and they got their offense going. No, big win for Texas A&M. They will come back and win. I do think it's funny the way the national narrative and the media try to spin games when Texas A&M barely beats a 3-win team or 2-win team and was getting dominated by that team. Oh, that's a great win. Shows how good of a team they are. IU was down by 4, only trailed 3 minutes of the game to Penn State, come back and win that game. And it's, does IU deserve to do this or that? They could barely beat a 3-win team. Like, hey, we were never down 28 points to anybody. So it's like, come on, you gotta treat it the same if you're gonna have that same kind of energy there. Hey, to me, it showed Texas A&M that they didn't give up and they came out and they were able to execute better in the second half. But I just find it funny how different people try to spin it.
I honestly think, though, and this is no disrespect to you guys. I don't mean it in any kind of way, shape, or form that way. But I think it's because this really, like I said, this is your first real year under Cignetti where you guys are – it's kind of like you're making your name for yourself, you know? Because let's be honest, guys. I mean, I've only been on this earth since 54 years. But I've never really thought of IU in any way, shape, or form in football. I've always known them to be basketball. I've never really thought of them as football. And I think this is kind of, Gonzo, where you're shaping your identity. You're on the scene. You're creating buzz. And I think the more years you are competitive and you are constantly in the conversation, which it will be, I really do. I think Cignetti is creating the culture. I think the boosters are going to get behind you guys. But I think it's going to take a little time for you being on the scene for people to take it seriously. I just think that's people's natural reaction, though. I just think it's a natural thing.
I get what you're saying, but that has nothing to do with looking at the way Texas A&M came back and beat South Carolina and comparing that to the IU game. I mean,
no, but I think from the respect factor, I think it takes more than just one season to really establish that respect.
We were one game away from being in the national championship game last season.
I mean, okay, so if you want to go 2 years, I'll give you 2 years. I'm just saying this. You guys are just kind of coming into your own here.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Look,
okay,
don't be mad at me.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. It don't matter. Take IU out of it. If Ohio State barely beat Penn State, and you want to try to use that against them, then when Texas A&M barely beats South Carolina, you got to keep the same energy. You can't try to spin it as a positive.
No, I get it. When we talk about respect, though,
I don't agree with it. Texas A&M was good.
You said what now?
When's the last time Texas A&M was a national contender?
I mean, come on. You know A&M's been in the conversations for a hot minute now. I mean, if you want to go all the way back to the Junction Boys,
they just hired a new coach
hold on. What I'm saying
is, been a national championship contender for a while.
Am I saying it's right, Gonzo? No, but I do know that people's psychological things and the way they look at things, they're gonna be like, I don't know, man. IU just got on the scene. Now they want us to give them respect.
No, I get what you're saying.
I mean, I think sometimes you got to earn that. You got to earn that right.
I don't think Chris is talking about, and I'm not saying you're saying this either, Jay. I think he's talking about the fan wise. I think he's talking about these supposed expert commentators. Right. It looks like they would be able to look at the numbers and look at things more objectively. I think that's what he's talking about.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We all want people to look at things objectively, but at the same time, in a lot of our brains, we don't associate IU with just football. We just don't. But I think that's going to change over time. That's going to change. I mean, when I think of IU, the first thing that comes to my mind is basketball all the time. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's just where I think
that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. You're taking what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say wrong.
Problem, maybe.
Because I get what you're saying. I understand that, but that's not what my point was in this.
No, you're saying is why is well, I guess I went that direction because you put out the respect thing out there. So I guess maybe I ran with that side of it. But I understand what you're saying. You're saying A&M gets mollywopped in the first half, comes back in the second half. And they're like, well, that was a good game. It was a strong, win, come from behind. So it's like a positive spin. But you're looking at Indiana like, hey, we do the same thing, but we're giving the negative side of it.
Look at the other end of it. Is South Carolina necessarily
Penn State's a better team than South Carolina?
I was going to say, are they a lot better than Penn State?
I hear where you're going with that, but I think Penn State starting out at number 2, to start the season. and look where they are now, and the dramatic downfall of everything. And I think that's why they just took they kind of took it away from Penn, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that. But one thing about Penn State still has a bunch of 4 or 5 star athletes. I think they have better players on it than what South Carolina does.
What's South Carolina done this year?
I'm putting down South Carolina because I don't think South Carolina is that bad of a team. They play a lot of people strong. They just can't get over the hump. They're not strong, not quite strong enough. And the big difference with them has been their inconsistency out of the quarterback. Their quarterback will play fantastic, and then he'll disappear. And he was a guy that was supposed to be a Heisman Trophy candidate, and he just has been too inconsistent.
Hey, and people forget that Penn State lost to number 7 or number 6 Oregon in like double overtime. Yep. People just seem to forget that. Yeah, Penn State's only won 3-4 games, but like Oregon's one of the best teams in the country. They lost that game in overtime. That's when their season started going downhill. Like Penn State has a lot of talent on that team. That's a lot more talented team than that South Carolina team is.
I get it. I get it.
Okay, guys, let's move on to the next game. Next game I have is Oklahoma, number 11 Oklahoma, defeating number 4 Alabama, 23-21. Now you look at the numbers and you're going to say, how this happened? Oklahoma only had 212 yards of total offense. Alabama had 406 total yards. They gave up 4 sacks, though, and had 3 turnovers. That's right there the thing. The turnovers and the sacks, especially the turnovers. Oklahoma's defense, yeah, they gave up some yards, but they made the big plays when they needed. And that was the difference in the game, was Oklahoma's defense. It wasn't necessarily Oklahoma's offense, but their defense made the big plays to win this game because Oklahoma had a hard time putting the ball in the end zone. Oklahoma could have won this game by more points if they would have put the ball in the end zone. They couldn't do it. They had to kick field goal. And yeah, it was a good game. I watched pretty much 90% of this game too. Part of it in the car, and then I finished it when I got inside. So good game. Chris, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is a game where Alabama outplayed Oklahoma and lost this game because of turnovers. I mean, Alabama outplayed them everywhere. Ran 25 more plays, 24 more plays on offense than what Oklahoma did. Had led time of possession, but you turned the ball over 3 times. And Oklahoma was able to take advantage of the turnovers. So yeah, it was a game. I saw quite a bit of the second half. I didn't see a lot of the first half. But yeah, to me, it was a game Alabama should have won. But you got to protect the football. And usually they don't turn the ball over a whole lot, but they did this past Saturday.
Yeah. Wow. I got to be honest with you. I didn't see this happening. I really did. I've been watching Oklahoma up until this point, and I had not really been happy with the style of play from Oklahoma. As well, I don't care, but I'm a Texas fan. But I'm saying, when I saw the Red River shootout, I was like, and I watched that game, and I saw Oklahoma just didn't have a lot of life in them. I just kind of thought I thought Oklahoma would be mid, but I didn't think they had enough to beat Bama. But you're right, Tony. I mean, Oklahoma came ready to play. They put up 10 points quick on them. One of them was that long, 87-yard pick six. When somebody goes 87 yards on you, that really hurts. That hurt. I got to imagine if I'm on the field, that hurts. And you look at them, 138 yards passing, no touchdowns, but no picks. A little bit of rushing yards, but not really a whole lot. They got the one rushing touchdown, the one pick six, and the rest of it, like you said, was all field goals. So, hey, but a win is a win. I don't care if you put up 17 field goals, it's still a win. So it is what it is. But I honestly did not, and I like Gonzo is. I only saw the first half. I didn't catch the second half of it. But I just did not see this. And I think the fact that they came out and set the tone against Alabama, that was that first part. Yeah, that kind of set the tone for the rest. And kudos to that defense.
Yeah, I think Alabama has a couple weaknesses that have shown a little bit. I've been on their defense a little bit all year. And also the running game is not consistent. So I think that's a couple weaknesses. And I think I know I seen a guy on TV, so-called expert, He said Ohio State would kill Alabama. He said Ohio State would destroy Alabama. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that. I think Ohio State would be favored, but I'm not going to say that Ohio State would kill them, especially depending on where that game would be played. But I think Alabama defensively can lack at times, even though they only held them to 212 yards. The defense did a pretty good job in this game, considering that their offense gave up 3 turnovers and they ended up holding them to field goals and really kept them in the game with all those with the turnover situation. But Alabama not being able to run the football, they rely so much on the pass that I think they've got to get a little bit more even with that. I'm not saying they got to be 50-50, but they've got to do a better job running the football. Let's move on, guys, to number 5, Georgia, defeating number 10, Texas, 35-10. Yeah. Georgia, 357 yards of total offense and had the ball about 35 minutes of this game. Texas had 274 yards total offense. A couple things that really stood out to me: only 23 yards rushing for Texas. That's a killer. I know when we talked last week, I thought Texas was going to have to run the football to have a chance in this game. They sure did. And then also 9 penalties. A lot of penalties for them in this game. So that didn't help things either. The game was fairly close, man, until we got to the fourth quarter and the wheels kind of came off. Jay, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, first of all, I felt like Arch did going up against a really good, solid defense that Georgia has. I thought he held his own. 251, a touch, a pick, 3 sacks. It is what it is. He also had it was just I think the biggest thing for me when I was watching this game was when they, if you notice, right before I think it was right after Oklahoma had scored. I believe it was either the second or third quarter. My brain gets left sometimes. But right after Oklahoma had scored, Kirby Smart did that onside kick. And I told Melanie, I said, that dude got the ball without the ball ever touching even the defender. I mean, that was the most beautiful onside kick I think personally I've ever witnessed. It was just the way he kicked it. It was just so perfect. And it landed right in their hands. And of course, Texas defense has to come out. And if you watched it, that drive before the onside kick, they were rushing with no problem against that Texas D. Like they were having a hard time dealing with the run from Georgia. And I felt like once they got that touchdown and then they got the onside kick, which brought their offense back out, that means Texas defense only had a few moments to gather whatever, energy they could and come back out on the field. And I felt like that was the beginning of the end for Texas in that game, because Texas, if you watched it right after that, it was straight all offense from Georgia, and Texas could not stop the damn run to save their lives. And I think a lot of that was a fatigue. When you go back-to-back series with very little time and they're running the ball on you, you got to imagine that front seven had to have been exhausted for Texas, and it really hurt them. They really didn't need to have the back-to-back series out there. That was crazy. It's very hard to win. And if you watch the whole domino effect of that, it just never really went Texas' way after that. I mean, because if you watch, Texas was fighting up until the point when he got that onside kick. And once they recovered that onside kick, it was just, they just didn't have an answer for it. They had no answer for Georgia in that game.
Chris.
To me, Georgia was the more physical football team. They controlled the line of scrimmage in that game, and that's why they dominated most of that game. Texas couldn't get much going offensively. I mean, hell, they never really could put a drive together down the field. They got that one touchdown to make it 14-10 or whatever, and they got in that field position because of the interception that they Gunnar Stockton threw, gave them field position. They were able to take advantage of that. Other than that, they never drove the ball down the field to score a touchdown. Like they got that early field goal. So they couldn't just get no rhythm offensively, and a lot of it was because they were losing at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football.
Which, by the way, Tony, I think that I know you were talking about the run game for Texas. I think once they were able to secure that onside kick, and of course, then they scored right after that. I think Texas was just in a hole, and I think Sarkisian said, "Okay, we're going to go to the passing game and try to." I think he really tried to get them back into that game quickly because I think he felt like if we can't stop the run, then we have to keep up with them offensively for what they're doing offensively, and I think it just got the run game completely out of the picture.
Yep. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Guys, let's move on to some NFL. I'm going to give some scores real quick, and then we'll go over some games.
Hey, what's up, Frankie?
Yeah, Frankie ain't coming on the show today. Hey, at least I'm on the show. Where you at, Frankie?
Hey, what's up, Joe?
NFL. Guys, what have gotten to Miami? Miami's won 3 out of their last 4 games, defeated Washington 16-13, Green Bay 27, the Giants 20, Houston 16-13 over Tennessee. We had Carolina defeating Atlanta 30-27, Chicago outlasting Minnesota 19-17, Jacksonville all over the Chargers, man. 35-6, just completely destroyed the Chargers. I don't know what happened there. We also had Pittsburgh 34, Cincinnati 12, San Francisco 41, Arizona 22, and then Baltimore 23 and Cleveland 16. I want to start off with this real quick with the Cleveland. Shadur Sanders got in the game for the first time in the second half. He was 4 of 16 with an interception. Jay, your thoughts on Shadur Sanders' first NFL experience?
Oh man, yeah. Here's how I look at this. I think his failure in his debut, because that's exactly what it was. It was a failure. Everybody knows it's a failure. If you didn't know it's a failure, look at the end of the game and Lamar Jackson's looking for him to kind of talk with him a little bit. And old boy's on the bench, contemplating the meaning of his life. Literally contemplate. He was down there by himself. And even he said, I don't like this feeling. I hate this feeling. He knows. But this ain't all on Shadur. It's just not. I would say 50% of it is, because when you go out there, whatever time you get, you got to execute. So 50% of it should have been him executing. So I got to give Shadur, you got to take accountability for that. And I think he knows it. But the other 50% relies on Stefanski, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach, and everybody else that didn't want to give him first team reps ever. And then you want to throw him out in the game. What should have happened, I'm going to tell you right now, what should have happened was the minute Shadur was the second team or the backup quarterback, he should have been taking some first team reps. Not a lot, but you got to look. They said they didn't even know how he calls the height count. They had no idea. They had never heard this guy. And I know Gonzo shaking his head, and I know he's going to give us he's going to probably light me up on this, and that's okay. Because I watched a little bit of that game, and I'm sorry, if you put me out there and I had no first team reps, I feel like you get what you get. You get the product that you get.
Okay, Chris.
Oh my goodness. I am so tired of hearing these motherfuckers cry for Shadur Sanders.
Don't say cry. Don't say cry. Just don't say cry. I don't like that word. You can say sad or make excuses. Don't say cry.
Well, you don't want me to say what I was going to say, so cry is a lot better than what I was going to say. But no, and not just you. That's all you heard on Sports Talk this morning. Oh, the Browns done them wrong. They don't want them to succeed. Bullshit. Peyton Manning was the starting quarterback for the Colts. You know how many reps the backup quarterback got with the number ones? Fucking zero. It happens everywhere. I guarantee you, New England's backup quarterback ain't getting reps with the number one. Drake May's getting all the reps. The guys are worried about developing the guy that they're playing. This ain't like it's new that they're just punishing Shadur because it's Shadur. No, get over that bullshit. Gabriel wasn't playing that bad. He's been playing pretty good the last few games. He got a concussion. They had to bring Sanders in. That happens to every backup quarterback in the league, especially when you're a rookie or a young backup quarterback. You're going to get thrown out there, and you're not prepared because they're hoping that you don't ever fucking play. I mean, that's how. I mean, that's just a rule in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's just setting somebody up for failure. I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's a pro level.
What you're saying, but that's how it is in the NFL. Every team is like that. It ain't like they're just doing it to him.
So let me ask you this. So are you saying that people that take Shadur out of it, other quarterbacks that have had their debuts have never had first team reps?
That if your debut is like that because somebody got hurt, yeah. I
Okay.
guarantee you, Riley Leonard on our team,
Yeah, right, bro.
on the Colts team, I guarantee you he has took 0 reps with that first team, and then they put him in at the end of the games a couple times when we've had a big lead, and that was the first time he's ever had reps with the first team.
Now, you just said a key thing, though, when you had a big lead. And I don't know. I didn't see the game. So my question for you is, when they did put him in, how much of it was passed?
But there's a difference, though. They put him in because they had a big lead. Cleveland had to put him in because somebody got hurt. And
Right.
if after Anthony Richardson got hurt this year, if Daniel Jones would have got hurt, Riley Leonard would have had to go in, and he would have went in and had no snaps with the first team at all. But luckily, our quarterback hasn't got hurt, so we didn't get put in that situation. But what I'm saying, it ain't like that. Shedeur is the only one that happens to. That happens to all kinds of quarterbacks throughout the league.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's not. Everybody's acting like it's just the NFL and the Kevin Stefanski picking on Shedeur, and it's not that, because it happens everywhere.
Yeah, and Shadeur's going to probably get plenty of snaps this week, because I would assume he's going to play this week. Because guy could come back from the concussion protocol, but I don't know. Week's pretty quick.
Oh my goodness, Joe said Sanders is going to be an MVP in his third. Ooh, okay.
You say, hey, Frankie, hey, I'm telling you, you never know. I mean, but hey, listen, Joe, I do want to stick
I
up
hope
for you.
He gets better and he has a good. I don't have nothing against him. I'm just getting tired of everybody.
Oh, I understand. I trust me. I get it.
Everybody crying for him.
Let me say, I got two things I want to say super quick on this. Number one, Joe, don't let Frankie get you. He over there riding that super high from a soft schedule with that artificial number one league record of the league. So don't let that fool you. Frankie's going to be coming back down to earth pretty soon. So don't worry about that, Joe. Just let that one slide off the thing. Secondly, I'm going to go back to Shedeur for a minute. I get it, man. Look, I said it like this, and I don't want you to think I'm sitting here trying to cry for him. I just want to see somebody be set up for success before you throw him to the lion's den. That's all I'm saying. Because, look, I don't like Shedeur. Really, I don't like Shedeur. I didn't like him at the draft, and I'm going to tell you why. And I said this. I specifically said this during the draft, and you guys know this. I said when he was wearing that legendary chain and he was sitting in that little beautiful room and looking all posh like he had the best things in sliced bread, I said, look at this freaking asshole. He's wearing a legendary chain and ain't done nothing in the league yet. So just as much as I cry for him, and believe me, everybody knows, Frankie knows, everybody knows I was saying that. And then you go out and you do. That's why I said 50% of this is on Sanders, because you can't wear a legendary chain and then get your debut and then put that bullshit up. That ain't legendary.
No.
Maybe mediocre. Maybe that's what he should have had. Mediocrity should have been on his chain. It is what it is, man. Shedeur either going to rise to the challenge or he's going to fall. We'll see what happens going forward. Because you got to admit, concussion protocols where he's at. Not he's at, but who's that? Gabriel is at. So Shedeur is going to get a start. So, okay. You shit the bed in your relief. Let's see what you do when you get all the first team reps and you're going to be the main dude. And let's see what you do. And I hope he balls out, because I hate to see people fail. But at the same time, if he don't, then stop wearing the legendary chain. By the way, I wonder what the value of that chain is. Is it gone down now? Or is it climbing up if it was on Christie's auction house? Just asking.
All right, guys. Let's move on. We'll be plenty of time to talk more about Shedeur probably after this week, because I got a feeling he will get a start. We'll see how he does. First game I got is Denver 22, Kansas City 19. Denver had 342 total yards. Kansas City had 311. Kansas City also had a big interception in this game. I thought the difference in this game, guys, was just Denver's defense was just a little bit better than Kansas City's. I thought that was just the biggest difference. I think Denver's defense was better, and that's why they won the game. Won a lot of differences in yardage, won a lot of difference in rushing, won a lot of difference in those areas. I just thought Denver's defense was just a little bit better than Kansas City's. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, this Denver Broncos defense is good.
Yeah.
They're really good. Only thing that worried me about the Broncos had been, and the reason didn't have them when we done our top fives the other day. Was I was worried about their offense, but their offense finds a way to do enough. Their offense isn't real flashy, isn't putting up a lot of points, but they find a way to do enough. And with that defense, if they can get 20 points, they're going to be in a lot of games. But yeah, Denver. I mean, it was a good football game. I watched the game yesterday, and there really wasn't the only difference in the game basically was the turnover and the interception that Mahomes threw. Other than that, everything else was pretty even. But yeah, it just keeps it. I like the Denver one because after you seeing how the Rams are looking, and then and they've been one of the best teams in the NFC, and Colts had a good chance of beating them. That's our one loss, and in Denver we beat at the very end, and Denver keeps proving. So that's just I like to see that because that's showing that hey, we're right there. So. But yeah, it was a big win for Denver.
Oh, definitely. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah. A couple of things come to mind. Three things come to mind. Number one, Travis Kelce, even though they didn't get the win, I thought that looked like vintage Kelce from a number of years ago before he met Taylor Swift and became a Swiftie. So yeah, I mean, I thought that was the first time I've seen him play like his old self in a long time. Unfortunately, he didn't come away with the win, so it didn't really matter a whole hell of a lot, I guess, at this point. I feel like the aura from the Chiefs is kind of dissipating. I feel like the Chiefs being clutch is kind of dissipating a little bit. And I think Denver is cementing themselves as the number one team in that division. And I feel like, the Chiefs, probably for the first time in almost a decade, are not going to win the division, and they'd be lucky if they even get into a wild card at this point, which says a lot. I mean, that says a lot. But you're right, Gonzo. That Denver D looked good, and Bo Nix made some really good passes in that game. I mean, he put them right in the breadbasket amid defenders. And if you don't make that pass correct, I mean, that's a pick six. So I felt like Bo Nix did a good job, and I think as years go on, they're doing well. But I just want to say one thing that I thought isn't getting talked about. I thought was amazing. How about that referee smacking into old boy, knocking him down? Sean Payton got up, still gave the pup, and then kept going. What a time to be alive, man. That's the second time now we've seen a ref, get bowled over.
Okay, guys, let's move on to the next game. The Los Angeles Rams defeated Seattle 21-19. This game, man, you look at the numbers and you're going to say, how in the hell did the Rams win this game? The Rams had 249 total yards. They had 119 rushing. Seattle had 414 total yards, 135 yards rushing. Seattle had the ball 37 minutes. The Rams had it 22 minutes. The key to this game was 4 interceptions, man, for Seattle. That was the ball game in a lot of ways. And Seattle still had a chance to win the game with like a 61-yard field goal. Even the guy missed it, of course, but you can't bitch about a 61-yarder. At least I don't think so. But Seattle had a chance, even with all that, to win this game. And I think another thing, the Rams scored touchdowns, and Seattle had trouble getting the ball in the end zone for touchdowns. And that was the other big thing for Seattle. Jay, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, screw you, Sam Darnold, you asshole. That's what I gotta say, because he's on my fantasy team, and I keep waiting for him. I keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And he has had 2 really bad games. The first one was against the Cardinals. I know they walked away with the win, but from a fantasy perspective, that dude put up 4.92. Couldn't even get 5 points as a quarterback. You're playing out there like you a last second flex that nobody wanted, but we did it because we didn't have nobody else to turn to. And then he plays against the Rams, and he put up 4.52. You put up that dude's last 2 games, you still don't have 10 fantasy points. I'm just saying, Darnold. And I really thought when they got Rashid Shaheed that maybe that's going to give them that other guy, that other speedy receiver, and that's going to open up the passing game a lot. And it didn't. Now, Walker, on the other hand, I thought he had a fairly good outing. But I can't remember the last time Seattle, especially Darnold, has beaten the Rams. And that was just a rough game. And I think right now, I mean, I'm tossing up between is Philly the best team in the league or the Rams the best team in the league? I really had thought that Seattle was, but this is the second time I've seen Seattle struggle against good defenses. One of them against the Cardinals, they got lucky and got the win because, let's be honest, the Cardinals' offense sucks. But when they faced a good offense and a good defense, like, for example, what the Rams have or even what the Eagles have, they just struggle against those. And that's kind of what brings me back down to earth a little bit in terms of how good Seattle really is.
Chris, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, Jay, I don't think Sam Darnold cares about how many points he gets your fantasy team.
I know. That's why he's an asshole.
But no, this game here, I mean, it was a game Seattle could have won, but the Rams defense bent, but they didn't break. They were like you mentioned about the red zone, and when Seattle got chances in the red zone, they were able to hold them to field goals, and then the Rams offense was able to get enough points. I really like this Rams team. I liked them at the beginning. They were my preseason pick to be in the Super Bowl for the NFC, and right now I think they're the best team in the NFC, and I think they have the best quarterback in the NFC. Matthew Stafford's playing right now. He has his name right up there as MVP front runner. I think it should be Jonathan Taylor, but if it goes to a quarterback, it's going to go to. Right now, I would give it to Stafford.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this Rams team a lot. And Seattle, they got to cut down the turnovers. The last 2 weeks, they've had a lot of turnovers, and if they cut down the turnovers, they're going to be fine because they have a good defense and they have weapons on offense. They can score points, but they got to cut down the turnovers, or they're going to struggle in games against the top teams.
Can I ask you guys a quick question? Do you think? I mean, because Stafford is the guy's advancing in age. He's not getting younger; he's getting older. But yet, he's still showing you that this guy is amazing. And I wonder, do you guys think that he regrets staying with Detroit for as long as he did, rather than trying to find a contending type team and doing what he could have done with that in terms of his career?
I don't think so because he got that Super Bowl. If he wouldn't have got a Super Bowl, maybe, but I don't think he does because he left Detroit. He got a Super Bowl, and so I mean, now he's trying to get another one and put his name there. I think now if he was still chasing the Super Bowl, then I would think maybe. But since he was able to get that Super Bowl, I don't think that he really regrets it.
Okay, guys, let's move on to the next game. This was kind of an interesting game, especially when you look at the numbers. I watched some of the game. Buffalo defeated Tampa Bay 44-22. But you look at the numbers and, you think, well, how did this happen in some ways? Buffalo did have 414 total yards of offense, 97 rushing, but they had 3 turnovers and only had the ball 24 minutes. Tampa Bay had 367 yards total offense, 202 yards rushing. That's what you want to do against Buffalo because they give up the run. So they did that. But they also had two turnovers, excuse me, and they had the ball for 35 minutes. But the big difference in this game, man, was Allen. 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns for a total of 6 touchdowns. That was kind of the difference in the game. And Buffalo really took over there towards the end of the game. So, Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, the big difference in this game to me was Buffalo was able to score touchdowns when they got in the red zone, and Tampa Bay couldn't keep up with them scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Was the difference? I mean, Buffalo had 1 more turnover than what Tampa Bay did, so Tampa Bay won the turnover battle, even though they had 2 turnovers. But like I said, if you look at the numbers, but the thing is the Bills was able to get in the end zone, and Tampa Bay couldn't get in as many times. I mean, they scored 32 points, so you can't. It's hard to bitch too much, but another team is in the 40s. It's going to be hard to win games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this was not one of Josh Allen's, in my opinion, better game. He got the win, no doubt about it. James Cook. I thought Tampa, given their lack of defense because of injuries and all that kind of stuff, I felt they held James Cook to under 50 yards. I think 3 yards a carry. Great. I mean, they did a great job. They held him to less than 100 yards on the ground.
Oh, that's some of the funniest shit I ever heard.
What happened? What happened? What'd I say? I
said
so
Josh
what?
Allen didn't play a very good game.
Well, no, I mean,
let me finish. He done something that's already been done. That already been done twice in the history of the NFL. Throw for 3 touchdowns and rush for 3 touchdowns. It already been done.
No.
Twice.
I didn't mean that.
It already been done twice.
I was talking about the turnover side of it. But you let me finish.
It already been twice before yesterday, and one of them was himself. But he didn't play very good yesterday. He only had 6 touchdowns. That's some funny shit. But my bad. Go ahead.
No, I didn't. I'm not. You didn't let me finish because you wanted to interject yourself into the conversation. Which, by the way, when I used to do that back in the day before I put myself on mute, I got two veins poking out. 2 veins. But anyway, I'm gonna let that slide a little bit because I know that heat out there doing DoorDash that got you thinking sideways. It's okay. No, I'm gonna go with that shit. No, what I meant was if I was gonna finish it, I was saying, I mean, he didn't have a good game to turn the turnover side. Yes, he had an amount of touchdowns, but the turnovers, and again, they won it by what, maybe was it 12 points? I think it was. There was a 44-32, something like that. Yeah, 44-32. Yeah, 3 touchdowns, no doubt, man. 3 rushing, no doubt. I don't know where to go with that, man. I'm just gonna say, good game.
Oh Lord.
I'm just gonna let that one go. Let it go, Jay. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Let's move on to Philadelphia game. Philadelphia defeated Detroit 16-9. Philadelphia had 272 yards of total offense, 148 yards rushing, so they did run the football well. Detroit, 317 total yards of offense, 74 yards rushing. They also did have an interception. Philadelphia had the ball 35 minutes of the game. Detroit had about 24 minutes, maybe a little over. Guys, one thing real quick on me, I know Detroit had 1 interception, but to me they had 5 other turnovers because you go 0 for 5 on 4th down. And I mean, I understand. I know this coach is aggressive, but I really feel like, I don't know what you guys think. I really feel like the coach cost them this game. They give up points. They give up field position. I mean, I know it just didn't make sense to me. I mean, good to be aggressive, but I mean, you're playing a really good defense in Philadelphia, and I know you want to try to score touchdowns. I understand that, but points are a premium. At a premium against a good defense, and I really think this loss is on the coach. That's just my opinion. Chris, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this game. I watched this whole game. It was good. It was a good football game for one. I know it was only 16-9, but it was it was a fun football game to watch. I mean, it was hard hitting. There were some plays made, but no, I agree with you. Time after time, he kept, and to me, the ones where he passed up points, that bothers me because I talk about that same thing with Steichen. I thought he was getting to where he was getting a little too greedy sometimes, but the ones that bothered me more is the ones that it was time after time he put his defense in a bad position where they were on their own side of the field and he's going for it and you don't get it. And the defense stood up a bunch. Because I mean, as many times as he put them in a bad situation, they didn't give up that many points, but it came down to the Eagles defense played better, but a lot of that to me was due to some of the situations that field position wise that they were put into. But yeah, I think teams are getting too aggressive, especially in the first quarter. If you drive the ball all the way down the field and you get to the damn 15, 20-yard line and it's 4th and 5, take the fucking field goal. Take the points. It's the first quarter. Get points. And you see a lot of teams passing up points in the first quarter and I just think it's crazy. And that was one of the things that a couple of weeks ago I brought up with the Colts and Shane Steichen. I think sometimes I think these teams get a little too greedy and hey, if you have a chance to get points, get the points because usually at the end of the game, come down to 1 or 2 points. And if you pass in points up during the game, sometimes it comes back and bites you.
Jay?
Yeah. No, I get it. Look, 0 for 5 and 4th down on a day when the wind is crazy. Yeah, I think he was definitely way too greedy on that. I think there's at some point you have to say, you know what? Okay, maybe I'll try it once. Try.
I do.
Okay, let me get away from what I'm saying is you really aren't. It's really hard to kick a field goal. You saw when they got pushed back on the extra point, and they tried to do the field goal, and obviously want to go left because they know the ball is going to come right, and that ball just went straight right. There was no left to it at all, and that just kind of shows you how hard that wind was going. As a matter of fact, when they did the flags, you saw really
I'm
how hard.
I'm not saying try a 50-yard field goal.
No, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying what I'm saying is like, when you're in the offense and 4th down is coming up, and the first 2 times you tried it weren't working, rather than continuing to try to do it, and maybe field goals are not so much of an option depending on where you are in the field, why not just punt it and give them harder field position than where you're giving it to them?
See, that was my thing. I wouldn't. The ones where he passed up the points, they didn't bother me as much. It was the ones where you're going for it on your own side of the field.
Oh yeah,
because then you're putting yourself you're giving them good field position. That was the ones that bothered me more.
Oh, absolutely.
But I do agree with what Frankie's saying here.
I didn't like any.
That was a terrible pass interference call at the end of that game that cost the Lions would have got the ball back with a chance to maybe tie that game, or they score some points. But that was a terrible. If anything, it should have been offensive pass interference. If you want to go
Gonzo, I got to agree with you on that, man.
I think there were 3 instances. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna give it to Glenn. There were 3 instances I felt like controlled that game. The first one was going for that many fourth downs when you're not converting and you're giving the ball in the territory. That's on the coach. So I'm gonna give it that one to the coach. The second one is when Williams jumped on that damn goalpost like the dumbass that he is. And then it's a day when the winds are hard and you missed the extra point field goal, which would have gave you the 7. I think it was at that point would have been 7-6 or something like that. So that one would have been on the players. And then the third one was on the refs. When at the end of the game, on the interception, I felt like those were the 3 critical points and 3 different reasons why it went against Detroit in that game versus Philly.
Go ahead, Big Lynn.
Yeah, man, they really did get screwed on that call, man. And just to talk about that, as well as the Chiefs and the Broncos, man, I felt like on those 2 interceptions, man, the refs are trying to keep Kansas City in the game, because the big swings that either way, it could help out the Denver, it could help out Kansas City, so it seemed like yesterday was a pretty rough day for the referees in that way.
The Kansas City, the only problem I had with the calls in Kansas City game is why do they call them so late?
Yeah, exactly. Especially, in the last quarter.
I think it might have been a penalty. After they showed the replay, it could have been. I've seen it called both ways, so I'm not going to argue on that whether it was a penalty or not. But why are you waiting after the play's done over and now you're throwing?
Plays over, you're spotting the ball for the next play. And a flag
they do that
out.
shit in the NBA.
in the Philadelphia, I thought it was a bad call. I don't know. You can say that it cost Detroit the game. It cost them an opportunity to tie the game.
Yeah.
But their offense was playing. But the other thing, to go back on his decision to go for it, I thought the play calls were terrible. I mean, you just run the ball straight up the middle. I mean, change something up. Quit doing the same damn thing every time and getting stopped and not even being close to getting it. I mean, call a different play. Go around the end, throw a pass, do something different than what you're doing. I've been a big fan of Campbell, but I thought Campbell cost Detroit this game.
And usually he's not on that end of the costing games. He's the one that wins the games. But
so I mean, I guess he's just being himself. But I don't know.
Well, you know what though, Tony. In that game when that interception happened, not the interception. When that penalty happened, they were actually building momentum. Detroit was actually building momentum, and if that would have not accounted and everything would have been straight, I think there would have been a good opportunity that Detroit gets that ball back and possibly scores or gets very close to scoring to take the win. So I really think that one drive just totally destroyed the momentum and everything that they had going for them.
I mean, it would give them an opportunity to tie it. I mean, I'm not saying that, but
Right.
I just don't know if Detroit. I mean, I'm not a Philadelphia fan. I like Detroit a lot better than Philadelphia. I just don't know if Detroit did enough to deserve to win the game.
No,
No.
I don't think they did. I don't think they did. Well, clearly they didn't. Like you said, 0 for 5 on fourth down. Penalties that are taking you back to where you can't make the extra point. Yeah, they were killing their own selves.
Goff didn't do
Chris
freaking
Collinsworth
shit
needs to quit
yesterday.
doing broadcasting and go coach a team because I'm tired of listening to that dude try to act like he's the god of football. God damn.
You talk about Chris
I
Collinsworth?
don't know.
Dude,
I've never liked Collinsworth
It
either.
gets more, dude. I used to not bother me, but nowadays it just gets more. It gets harder to listen to them Sunday night games because he talks like he's the fucking the god of football, like he's the all knows everything about it and all be all. Sometimes
I'd much rather hear Marv
Jay
Albert,
talk about
honestly.
Texas, you know.
there was times last night I just wanted to mute the damn game, and the bad thing is I like Tirico.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
I would have
Gonzo,
rather had
man,
Marv
you
Albert.
know it's
but-
you know it's bad when you rather want to hear Jay and Frankie argue about Alabama and Texas and hear Chris Collinsworth talking, you know. So
Okay, guys, let's move on to Monday Night Football, guys. Let's preview that. We got Dallas at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Woo-hoo!
Jay,
Get that win. Gonna get that win.
I wouldn't get too happy. This is probably the game that they'll choke. Let's. What are you thinking about this game, Jay?
I'll tell you what I think about now. Mr. Pinky! Mr. Pinky! Don't make me break out, Mr. Pinky. I swear I will put a voodoo curse on your ass. You thought the Pacers were having injury problems? What did you see when you were stuck with Daniel Jones and you got old boy that you don't, who was it, Anthony Richardson? You about to play Anthony Richardson. I'm about to take all your hopes and dreams away.
Hey,
one more time, Chris. I'll do it to Jonathan Taylor,
right.
too. He'll mess up both his knees.
That'd be all right. According to all these experts out there, Anthony Richardson would be way better than Daniel Jones. So if we do have to put him in, we should be okay. Yeah, we should be better because the culture's stupid for starting Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson. So
yeah,
we should be awesome at that.
Talk here in Indy, Gonzo, back in July and August.
No, let's get into the Dallas game. So Dallas and Raiders. I didn't even look at my thing to see what this thing. I think is this in Vegas?
Yep, it's in Vegas.
Okay. Yeah. What do I think about?
Hey Jay, what time's this game?
It's tonight.
That's all.
No, it's Thursday night.
Hey, can you get ESPN yet? Are you gonna be able to watch the game?
Yeah, he's got it now.
I'm about to come to this fucking screen right now.
They wanted to make sure that all the Cowboy haters were gonna.
No, I'm serious.
Hold on.
They finally settled that where you get ESPN again.
I think so.
I don't know if I'm ever going to get ESPN again. I don't know if y'all do. I don't have it right now.
I thought
I have it.
YouTube settled.
Oh, I do. I see it right there. Never mind. I'm looking at it.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Gonzo,
You've had it all weekend. You've had it all weekend, I believe.
I've been very busy all weekend. I will tell you now, I barely even got to watch sports this weekend because my wife had me running around all damn day, both days, Saturday and Sunday. But that's neither here nor there. Nobody wants to hear about my personal life.
I'll tell you what, the Saturday night.
Glenn, I need the Cowboy side of you to relax for a minute. I know that's the left side, so just relax. Just calm down, killer. I know you got the AI running, and you're trying to get them watch hours, but calm yourself, Bubba. Calm yourself.
Yes.
You're about to get all you want us to talk about. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna make this super, super quick. Cowboys, and this is not the hater in me. I do think that our defense is going to be okay against Gino and company, right? Brock Bowers, I do kind of worry about him a little bit because we know Brock Bowers, he's got him and probably Genty. This is where it's bad for me because Genty is my running back tonight in fantasy. So I
start his ass.
I did because that's the thing though. We're supposed to be able to stop the run, not the pass. So right now, if I'm the Raiders, I'm probably going to run a little bit, but I'm definitely going to set up the pass because I know the pass is where it's at. And that's really what I'm thinking. I want to see how they do against the pass because the run, I think we'll do okay against the run, but that pass is going to kill us. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reality of the games in Vegas, but Raiders aren't too well, and I mean, who the hell fears Geno Smith anyway? I don't even think Anthony Richardson would fear Geno Smith, so I think the Cowboys take care of business tonight. It might be close, just because how we are, but I still think Cowboys get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dallas wins this game. I think the Raiders are. Of course, this will be the best game of the year for the Raiders. Probably that's the way Jay's luck is. But I'm going with Dallas. Chris, what do you think?
I like the Raiders in this game. If you look at the Raiders' last couple games, they've played better. They lost by 1 point to the Jacksonville Jaguars, 30-29. Then they lost to the Denver Broncos, 10-7. And we just talked about what kind of team the Broncos have. So I mean, the Raiders, it ain't like they've been playing terrible.
Yeah.
And I just don't trust the Cowboys' defense. I think the Raiders will be able to do enough in the passing game. I do like that the Dallas is getting, I think, overshown back tonight. So
we are.
It should be better. They should be better against the run.
Yeah.
I just don't trust that secondary. And I think the Raiders are going to be able to score enough points. So I'm going to go with Raiders, especially Raiders at plus 3.5. Because it's at home. Because I think it's going to be a close game. I think either team. I don't think either team is going to win by more than one possession. Whoever wins the game, I think it's going to be a close football game.
Because I'll be watching the end of it. I won't watch the rest of it, but I'll be watching the end of it.
Hey, real quick, just so you're tracking, in terms of what we do get back in tonight's game, you're right. We get Overshawn, but we also get the debut of Logan Wilson at the linebacker. And then we also get that rookie corner that we drafted, Shehil, however you say that guy's name. So we do have a rookie corner, and we'll see what he can do. So we get a little bit of defensive help, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good football game. I do.
Guys, before we get out of here, I just want to – I know we got some wrestling fans out there, so I want to mention this real quick. Tonight, Monday Night Raw on Netflix starts 8 o'clock Eastern. John Cena's last match ever in New York City. Last match on Monday Night Raw. They're going to have 18,000 people there. They claim that they got something special for Cena tonight as far as an opponent goes. So they said that's interesting. And then they said they've got a big surprise for Solo Sikoa, who's in the tournament for the last time ever tournament. And they've got a surprise guy to face him. So should be an interesting night on Monday Night Raw. If you want to see John Cena he's only got a couple more appearances after this. He's got a pay-per-view appearance at the.
He's basically got a month.
Yeah, he's got Survivor Series. He'll wrestle a match there of some kind in San Diego, and then his last match ever will be on Saturday night's main event on December 13th. So, I mean, down to 3 appearances. The last time on Monday Night Raw. So, if he was ever a John Cena fan, you might want to check that out on Netflix.
Shit, if you've been a John Cena fan, you've probably been watching it since he had made the announcement. So
they had him on ESPN on some of their shows this morning, talking and stuff. I'm probably going to try watch some of Raw tonight as well, but I'll be watching the football, so I'll probably have it on split screen and keep an eye on both of them. But yeah, the shirt he had on today on ESPN was pretty cool, but it reminded me of all the money I was spending on John Cena merch back in the day, because Austin used to get the shirt, the hat, the wristbands. Every time we went to a show, he had a new John Cena hat, new John Cena shirt, the wristbands, all of it. Or then it turned into CM Punk stuff or Edge stuff.
Yep.
Now he had the Boogeyman heart.
Glenn,
we spent a lot of money on some WWE merch over the years. Fuck.
Glenn, who do you think the surprise opponent is for Solo?
I think it's going to be either Austin Theory or Joe Hendry.
I know one thing when he's mentioned everybody's theories are wrong on the internet. That's what the general manager. Everybody's theories are wrong. So that makes me think Theory. A lot of people are saying it may be Zilla Fatu.
Not really. I don't think so.
You think Stone Cold could be the surprise for Cena?
Shit.
In Madison Square Garden, that would be awesome.
I can see it.
Because he's in good enough shape. He could do a match Because I would say Kurt Angle, but Kurt Angle can't do a match.
He
So
can't hardly.
that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying Stone
Kurt
Cold.
Angle's
Stone
like
Cold
me on
be
a worst day, so
if Stone Cold was the surprise dude, it'd break the internet.
Yeah, Kurt Angle would have been the perfect last opponent for
Yeah,
him.
Kurt Angle would have been perfect, but he can't do it.
He
yeah.
can't even hang. I mean, his neck's so jacked up, he can barely. Yeah, he can't even really get in the ring. So that's just the way it is. But I just wanted to give everybody a heads up for that tonight. I'm definitely going to be watching that. Also, Gonzo's Wrestling Room tonight got a big show at 6:30ish. So
And
check.
I believe I'll be on with Hooli and those guys over on Truth Be Told tonight for trivia. So I'll have to go back and check with him. But I think that's gonna be at 8 o'clock here on ESEN.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, raise your hand if you can do the evening show tonight. Tony, I know you're still kind of.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to talk to you, but I want to talk to you off there.
No worries. All right, folks. This is pretty much it for today. If you liked our content, please give us a like and a subscribe on our YouTube channels at Gonzo Sports Room, as well as Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. Those subscribes on those YouTube channels really do mean a lot. And until next time, it's your boy Jay. I'll say Frankie, Jay, Gonzo, Big Glenn, and Tony. No Frankie, although it was in the comments. So Frankie and go ahead.
Yeah, Frankie.
And Frank. Yeah, Frankie and Joe, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out in the comments. And we'll see you guys next go around.